Insights channel. Steve here, and today I'm going to talk about housing and a housing market and how something very strange is going on, very odd. And I'd like to point out to you that the powers that be have this plan for the year 2030, that by that time everybody will own nothing and they will eat bugs, according to the World Economic Forum. Well, it seems to be the vision of the globalists, to make human beings into nothing more than just a commodity that is totally controlled and owned by them. But I want to explain what's happened to me personally so you can see for yourself that things are going in that direction. My own wife has been very ill for going on 9 years now. And for example, she spent the last 6 weeks stuck in her bedroom upstairs. She can't get down the stairs. She can't walk. She has a serious balance problem. And we were asked to leave the house we're in, dare I say, 4 years ago. But we haven't been able to leave this house. We've been trying to downsize from when we had 5 kids, and now our kids have flown the coop. They've all grown up, gone far away. And I want to explain something. 18 years ago, when we first got this house, getting a house was not a problem. You could go to an estate agent, tell them exactly what you wanted, and they'd probably say, well, we've got 3 houses of that description. Take us around a few. Okay, we'll take that one. And in our case, we got to talk directly with the landlords, and they're great people, and they still are. And it's only because of their kindness and their generosity that we've been allowed to stay here an extra 4 years. Now, why have we stayed an extra 4 years? In this big house, it's a 4-bedroom house, nice big garden, because we have not been able to find another house suitable for my wife who's in a wheelchair. And I've been trying to downsize to a 2-bedroom house on the ground floor here in the UK, in Scotland, and I haven't been able to find it. Not only have I not been able to find a house suitable for somebody who's in a wheelchair that makes it accessible for her, so we live only downstairs. That has not been easy to find, but also it's getting worse than that. I'll tell you what happened to me this very week. This time I said, well, since it's so difficult, why don't we try going much further afield? So I travelled 250 miles a few days ago with my oldest daughter. And we went up north of Scotland. And we went to see a house there that was classified 2-bedroom house, and it was though about the same price as this 4-bedroom big house that we're in, with a big garden. About the same price. We get there, and we were horrified to find that all the photos of the house had been taken at a wide angle, so as, for example, the garden was made to look 10 times bigger than it was. And we get in the house, and I'll tell you this, the whole house there, and that's 2 bedrooms, living room, kitchen, bathroom, dining room. All of those were in a house that was so micro small, you could fit the whole lot of it just in our living room in the house we're in right now. Like a micro house, like a doll's house, a mini house, and yet they were charging a large price for it. And I just couldn't believe it. And while we were standing there, we had been invited to go there. The estate agent had no answers. No answers at all. No answers. I thought, what's going on? Well, why are you offering such a tiny place for a very high price? And so we wasted a whole time going all the way up there and coming back again. And if that wasn't difficult enough, then we seemed to have a breakdown on the way back. Not us, but the car. But fortunately, after 2 hours, and the breakdown service said, no, we can't see you for another 5 hours. And I said, oh no, I'll be too tired by then. But fortunately, after prayer, the Lord showed us, hey, look, your car's on a slight slope backwards, even though you're on the lay-by and massive traffic going by. So then I thought, I told my daughter, he says, you don't have to say a word. I'll start pushing the car from the front. You get in the car. And we started, the car on the slant started going backwards. She pushed it, bingo, the car started again. Wonderful. So we didn't have to wait 5 hours. And we got home safely. But the whole episode shocked me because all this time I've wanted to size down. I wanted to give the landlord and his wife back this big house that they want to sell. But for our sake, and the fact my wife is in a wheelchair and ill, very ill, they have not pushed the point. They're very, very sweet, very precious people. And I would say this, I just got a letter from somebody who found out what happened to us this week. And this is from Jackie in Jordan. And she's a businesswoman running a great charity business there in Africa. And she said, well, that's what you're telling us about housing. That's how it is all over the world now. I thought, what? Really? Micro apartments? Micro houses? What's going on? And charging a fortune for them and making it unaffordable for the poor or those who don't have a lot of money or lots of savings. I would say here in the UK, from what I've observed, they're trying to force people to get into mortgages if you're young. Of course, you won't get it at my age, 70 plus. They're trying to get people into buying houses, long mortgages at the bank, and if you're trying to rent, they're trying to push you into micro apartments and micro houses in the cities. And now I was shocked to find I'd never seen a house that small in my life. Never. You'd be lucky to fit one person in it, never mind 2 or more people. And I was saying, what's the purpose of doing this? And I think that probably that house was originally, is classified as a detached house, but it isn't. It's 2 houses. And I think at one time it probably was 1 house, and they've split it in 2, put micro things in it, lied about the property through their photographs or using a wide-angle camera, and trying to rent them for an absolute fortune. And persuade people, oh, what a wonderful place there, right in the town there. Absolutely marvellous, yeah, isn't that close to everything? Because in that particular, it was a town rather than being the village. But after going there, I decided, no, I want nothing to do with being in the town. I want to be in the countryside like we are now. But I just felt something was very wrong. And even the estate agent was telling me, well, they no longer are the ones who say about the house, it's the owner of the house. I thought, wait a minute, that can't be. That cannot be. Unless somebody's buying up all the houses, like Bill Gates in the States. It seems to me that they're very powerful. They're buying up the housing market, and then they're doing something with the houses or the apartments, microsizing them, and selling them for a very high price. Now, I'd love to hear from some of you on this, if you've seen the same things where you are all over the world. Because I'm telling you, that's what the market is like from what I've seen here. And I've visited quite a few houses, and the last 3 have all been micro houses. And I'm just shocked, because Scotland used to be known for big houses and stuff. Why are they doing this? Why are they making what used to be big into very small? Why? What's the purpose? Of course, I heard these things in the Far East too, Japan, other places where people are living in even tinier places than what I saw. But I'd love to hear from people if you're noticing that it's very difficult to rent places, or the prices are jacked up high, or difficult to find them. I've been talking to quite a few people here recently, and they say, yeah, well, they're just not making the houses anymore. And the government is just selling off what used to be council houses. In houses, enough houses not available. And that's what you'll find. You look on the net, it says that since COVID, there's more than 2 to 4 times as many people looking at every house that's put out there to sell, and I hope they might to rent it. But I mean at a very high price. That's why I haven't been able to move from this big house I'm in now. And I feel, why should we move from here when my wife is so sick if we can't get what a disabled person needs? But it shocks me that they don't have places for people that are disabled and in a walking chair, that the market's not there anymore. ever since COVID, things have changed with the housing market. That's a fact. I've just been looking into it. Anyway, I would like to hear from others if you've had great difficulty in, say, sizing down, like you're older couple and you had to size down from when you were young and your kids have grown up, flown the coop like us, only to find where are the houses? Where is a 2-bedroom house that's suitable, that it doesn't look like a doll's house? So, thanks for listening. I think personally, just to final point on this one, if I'm not mistaken, I think it's the beginning and part of what the elite and globalists want. Because I've read that eventually they want to get people into the cities, micro apartments, and that only the very rich live in the countryside. Of course, I live in the countryside at the moment. So I think it's part of the plan, downsizing everything in the housing for everybody, so they will be forced to move where the globalists want in the big cities, and the countryside will be only for the very rich. I hope I'm not right about this. That's what it looks like from personal experience. But as the guy said about Huddersfield belongs to us and you. So, for those who understand what that means. So we're going to stay in the countryside, fight to stay in the countryside as long as we can. But obviously it's late in time, and we fight against all that is planned for the year 2030 by the globalists. Thanks for listening, and I would appreciate your comments about this. If you know something about this, if you've seen something like you've experienced it personally like we have, I'd like to know what on earth is going on. How can you force people into micro houses, micro apartments, jack up the price, and have landlords that are obviously corrupt and don't care about the people? I'm fortunate where I live as long as I stay, because I know the landlords, they're caring people. Well, what's going on this planet? It seems to be descending into uncaring place, dark spiritually. And that's what it seems very strongly that way, and I'm seeing in the housing market. But if you've got any experience on this, I'd love to hear from you so I can tell others. Thanks for listening, and I would encourage you. By the way, I just sent my latest book, my 11th book, Secrets of Enoch Insights, which I hope is going to be incredible for people to read. Put a lot of work into that one. That's just gone to the publisher. Hopefully that'll be available in a month's time. And I'm hoping for the 12th book that I'm going to be working on soon, that'll be the best yet. And that one's going to be called The Holy Spirit Mother Insights. And I'll put everything I know and research into that. That'll just knock in the head all these lies that's been put out there in religion for the last 2,000 years, where they're not telling people the truth at all. As the early Christians all believed the Holy Spirit was female. And so did all the Jews in Hebrew. The Holy Spirit's female. Wisdom. See Proverbs. So I'll knock that really in the head and knock it out the field altogether, as they say, because there's just so much overwhelming evidence. It's true. It just amazes me they can keep that from the people for so long. But now in modern times, you've got scholars and people like myself that are talking about it. But I think the more books we have out there showing the Holy Spirit's female and proving it, the better. Well, thanks for listening. I would encourage people to get my Insights book, Enoch Insights. That was the first one, and the new one coming out soon, Secrets of Enoch Insights, from the second book, Enoch. And then you've got Esdras with a Z, Insights. That's a small version of second Esdras, apocryphal book. Then you've got Jash Insights 1 and 2, Jubilee Insights, those are Hebrew books. And then you've got Eden Insights from the Lost Books, Adam and Eve, apocryphal book. And then you've got Testaments of the 12 Patriarchs, Insights. I think that book's incredible. The sons of Jacob, they all prophesied on their deathbeds, and they all knew the very day they were going to die. Incredible. And they prophesied so accurately about what would happen in Israel and the rise of the Messiah, and that their own descendants will become evil at the time of the Messiah. And they would get driven out of Israel. It's incredible. Prophecies given by the patriarchs. Fantastic stuff. Everybody should read that. You're really at serious loss if you don't know some of the Apocrypha books and some of the Hebrew books that really fill in the gaps in the Bible. The Bible's great to know basic Christianity and the Old Testament for knowing basic Jewish religion. But if you want to know the whole picture, you need to have the old Hebrew books of Jasher, Jubilees, Enoch, Testaments of Patriarchs, Eden, or the Lost Books out of me. So I've tried to work on the most important books I've thought of, the Apocrypha and the ancient Hebrew books. So do get my books. I've now got, like I say, I've got 8 Insights books, a 9th one coming out now, and 2 on the paranormal, Out the Bottomless Pit 1 and 2. And very soon I'll be opening a brand new website that I think you're going to find absolutely amazing, designed by an artist, my daughter Suzanne Strutt. We've had a few delays on it for one reason or the other, but it'll be open soon. And that'll be all dedicated to the books. So, thanks for listening. Bye for now.